Ooh, okay guys, this is Mr. Shiny Gears. Welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Grace SF. In the last part we started exploring the Humanoid Research Center. And in this part we're going to try and continue on. So let's start with... First we want to head down. Ah, no. 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 I don't want to deal with you. There is this room though. No enemy, no thank you. And here we get all divide of a very useful item, as I was saying before I got so rudely cut out by that battle. Anyway, I think I wanna, yeah. I think I wanna use an Aleth bottle. Well, that could have been a really dumb idea, but, well, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. We get an all divide, very useful. Now we want to head back to the save point and not get interrupted by another battle. So let's actually move on, because we want to head right.
This looks just like that machine from the ruins beneath Wallbridge.
This device preserves visual recordings of research targets.
So spying on people? Or robots? One or the other.
Oh hey, there's that word again.
What does it mean anyway?
Lambda. In our world, Lambda has come to mean nightmare.
Okay.
Why is that?
Lambda is a life form we discovered by accident while researching the Lostelia.
Okay, so Lambda is a thing that's living.
When the Institute's director,
That means that's telling us a lot.
It quickly became a nightmare for us all. The worst aspect of Lambda, and there are many, is an ability to hatch monsters from its body.
Okay, so it can give birth to things, technically speaking?
These monsters threw
Or
Photon
monsters.
into chaos and eventually led to its destruction.
That cocoon.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Just
I
like
had
something appeared
a
at World's Eye.
sudden Final Fantasy 13 cocoon. I've been playing too much of that lately.
After wreaking havoc here, Lambda fled to your world of Aphinia. We knew Lambda had to be stopped,
So he's
we
somewhere
created
on
a
our
humanoid
world.
capable of fighting it and
Most
initiating
likely.
pursuit.
We don't actually know. He could have left, but I'm gonna say he probably didn't leave.
That humanoid is Protos Hace, the one you call Sophie.
Okay, so Protohace and Lambda and stuff and Sophie. There we go.
Unfortunately, Protos Hace was unable to destroy Lambda. After much discussion, we surviving Phodrons chose to seal off Aphinia in the hopes of containing Lambda there. But now, after so many years, the Aphinians have come to us.
So you decided, well, we have this problem with this life form. Let's just ship him to another planet. They can deal with him. No problems will come to them from that. Clearly.
So you
Clearly.
built Sophie and then sent her to our world so she could defeat Lambda. Does that mean Lambda is the one who created the cocoon?
Again,
But wait,
cocoons.
that doesn't make sense. I mean, Richard made the cocoon, right?
So Richard is Lambda, maybe, perhaps, or he could have been taken over by Lambda. Something
Maybe
other
Lambda
one
knows how
was.
to disguise itself or something. Maybe it just looks like Richard.
No, but then would probably know where a real Richard was. Perhaps, I don't know. That could be a
refuse
plot
to
hole.
believe that Richard and Lambda are the same. I know Richard. He's not a monster. He can't be.
Sophie's getting worse.
We must hurry.
I agree. Come on.
All right then, let's move on. Let's check something. Discovery. And a skit.
Toy blocks? What are those doing here?
Interesting. Cornell used those as part of his research.
Cornell? Was he related to this facility?
Correct. Cornell was a foremost researcher of humanoid development, a key mind in the field of biotechnology.
Is this Cornell person still alive?
I highly doubt
Afraid
it.
Not. From
Oh,
my
there we go.
understanding, Cornell died before the Great War began in Fodra. However, his research lived on, and was the foundation for many spectacular breakthroughs. It truly is a shame that such an accomplished individual such as he would lead such a short-lived life.
Asbel, Sharia, we should move on.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, let's just ditch Emerald. That would be the best plot point ever, but it doesn't happen.
What's happening?
Protos Hace's particles are breaking down.
Excuse me?
Protos Hace is composed of individual particles that act in concert with each other. These particles, tinier than a grain of sand, come together to form a human shape. And while
So you're
they
making a
act as
beach
one,
analogy
the
now?
particles also possess the ability to separate from each other, which is what you see happening right now.
Asbel. Sharia. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
It's the result of a process called distributive preservation. Your friends must be completely synchronized with Protos Hace's particles.
I don't understand.
When Protos Hace suffers heavy damage, it usually splits into individual particles, shuts down all functionality, and begins the process of reconstruction. This is known as particle preservation. Distributive preservation, on the other hand, allows Protos Hace to implant its particles into one or more separate vessels.
So that happened
Have
7
you ever
years
seen
ago.
Protos Hace split into particles like this? Anyone?
Yep, the
That
flashback.
must be what happened 7 years ago.
Exactly.
But the unit shouldn't actually engage that procedure. The reason being, distributed preservation makes it much more difficult for the particles to reform. Failure could render reformation impossible, so why would Protos Hace have risked entering that state?
Would her particles have any kind of effect on the vessels that they went into?
It explains our Nova powers.
In fact, while the particles prepare
Boom.
for
There we go.
reconstruction,
We
they
explained
will
something
repair
that we've had the
damaged
entire
areas
game,
of the
pretty much.
vessel as well.
So Sophie split
Nearly
herself
50
into
parts later.
3 parts and then used those parts to save Asbel, Sharia, and little bro.
And that also explains why Sharia
Sophie
was
didn't
no
die
longer
after
sick.
all. She was just recuperating within us.
It's amazing. She's been with us this whole time.
I see. Then this would explain why we possess some of the same powers she has.
Exactly.
Incredible.
So, what would happen if she underwent distributive preservation again in her current condition?
Distributive preservation does not allow for reconstruction of the self. She would lose all elements of her current identity.
Sophie, you risked your life for us.
Impossible. Protos Hace was never designed for this kind of self-sacrifice.
Oh, shut up with your science mumbo-jumbo-ness.
I fear further particle breakdown could be disastrous.
Friendship.
We must hurry.
Like a JRPG. No, I'm just kidding. But she is a bit of a cold-hearted person. I will go with that. Asbel got a title. Woo. Actually, I should look at what the title does. It might be a good thing to equip, because it's a plot-related one. Well, it's not a bad one. I'll just equip it. Okay. Okay, we want to head up. And look for a room and avoiding enemies. And in here, we get an elegant feather. Now we want to head back to the split and head down. So let's go do that. And avoid this enemy. Ha! I got around you, you stupid slime. Oh, it was just changing screens. Anyway, let's head into this room, I believe. Yes. We want to head into this room. And we get a golden bow. Okay. Okay, avoid this enemy. Yeah, there we go. And we have another lift, so let's swap it out for a charged battery. Now let's head up to the first floor. Okay, and I'm going to cut out real quick because of that battle and the fact that my cat was walking dangerously close to my recording device, which she had been laying down when I was about to start, and then she decided nope, and I don't want her clawing at it because she's been known to claw wires lately, or try and chew them, so I had to get her out of the way. Anyway, let's continue on, hopefully get this done quick so I can stop hearing the cat in the background. Okay, we got the battery, now let's head back to one of the basement floors. How long is this going to take though? Okay, we want to head to basement floor 2, then to basement floor 3S. Okay, and we're good. Okay, there's nothing to the left. So we want to head this way and enter the...
Stand guard!
Okay, now let's enter the door after I've been interrupted by another battle. Oh god, this... Okay, got around him once. I want to take that Elith. I want to get out of here. Okay, good, we made it up. Okay, we want to head down at this split. And there will be 2 rooms down here that we want to investigate. So let's investigate both of them. No enemy, I don't want any part of you. Here we get a Misty Anklet. Let's see if that's any better for Sophie. Ooh, boosted accuracy and evasion, I like that, as well as better attack. So, get around the enemy.
Stand guard!
It's today's episode. Let's see how many times I can get interrupted by enemies, because it's the same enemies. There hasn't been any changes, but in here we get a discovery.
What's this?
That's Tarlo X. I can't believe it's still here after all this time.
Is this a humanoid as well?
No, this is merely old junk.
Oh, old junk. Why would you call it that?
Something.
Huh? Huh?
Spit it out.
Exactly,
This
Pascal.
is the first android I ever built. Back when I was just getting started at the Institute. I never thought I'd see it again. This brings back memories. Really, Cornell should have just thrown it out.
Sounds like everyone has something they're embarrassed about. Tiger Festival?
Tiger Festival. Okay, now let's head back to the intersection. This time there shouldn't be any enemies to get in our way. And if you're worried about my levels, don't worry. I'm going to grind here probably after this dungeon for some levels, so we'll be okay. And to be quite honest, we're pretty okay on levels towards the end of the game. I mean, the first time I beat the game, this is Future Arc, I was around level 80, so it's not that, we're not that bad. In fact, we're already 50. And Future Arc's a lot longer away, so let's activate another one of these consoles. Okay. Okay, let's avoid the enemy. Good. Let's replace the battery here. And let's head to basement floor S. Basement 4S. Floor 4S. I don't even know. But you notice we didn't go back for a battery because that was the last battery we needed, and there's no more batteries. So we can just sort of skip it and skip around that enemy. And we got ourselves a save point and a save skip.
Woohoo! What is it, Pascal? You sound like an owl. It's these machines. They're a bit different from the ones I'm familiar with. But once I fiddle around with them, they seem simple enough.
Fascinating. Adaptation is the hallmark of an exceptional engineer.
Emerald, if you don't mind me asking, who are the Amarcians?
If you are
I'm
so
sorry if you
curious
hear my
to ask,
cat in the
they were
background
a
clawing
group
at the
of
door right now.
engineers who maintain the technologies of Fodra.
But I
myself
think I'm
used
gonna
be
need to
counted
take her out
among
here in
their
a second.
number.
Wait,
So,
you're an Amarcian as well?
Good thing we're right at the
If
save
that's
point,
the
and
case, is it possible that you and Pascal
I don't know how
are
long this
distant
part's gonna
relatives?
be, and
Relatives,
cat's really annoying me
no.
right now.
I fear you have misunderstood
Come on.
me. Amarcia was just the name for a coalition of research
Sophie, stop
engineers.
that.
Though
Stop
bonds
it.
were strong, none shared any
Okay.
blood ties.
I think she stopped for now.
We're not all in the same family? That
So-
means I have to return the money I borrowed from Poisson. Don't borrow money from children.
Okay, now that that save skip's over, and I completely interrupted it thanks to my cat. I think this is where we'll call this episode. I know it's a bit shorter one than most of mine, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to go forward here anyway, just because there's a boss fight, and I don't know. I like having my boss fights earlier in a part than later, just because I never know how long they could take. So, till next time. Well, I spoiled that we'll have a boss fight, but we'll find out why and what it is. But in the next part, we'll head into that room there and find out, because that's like the last room in this dungeon. So until then, this is Mr. Shiny Gyarados signing out, guys. Have a good day and goodbye.